Having vibes for, because last is the ginger there. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Everything Student with Usas. Here we talk about things affecting students, issues affecting students, and preparing students for the future ahead. Today we're going to be talking about effective practical tips to productive reading. A lot of people don't know their method of reading, don't know how to read to get a productive result, to get a successful result. These tips are tested, these tips are proven. I mean, they have worked for me. Statistics has shown that we only use 10% of our brains. That means that each and every one of us have potentials in us. All we just need to do is know what works for you. What works for me is different from what works for you. But I'm sure that one or two of these tips will work for you. Let's go.
Be like Okonjo. I want to be like. You want to be like who? You don't like school.
Setting a timetable. Setting a timetable is very important. It is number one step. It helps you organize your reading. A lot of people feel they don't need a timetable because you know that you will not use it. I advise you to set a timetable. It helps you organize your thoughts. When you don't have a timetable, you go to the class, you are disorganized. Thoughts are disorganized. Should I read this? Should I read that? And before you know, time has gone, and like your mind is mixed up. By the time you have gone through a lot of no time has gone, and you won't really achieve a lot with that. It's more advisable to set your timetable in such a way that you will prepare for the class, the next day's class. We are getting to that. You'll see that by the time you organize, by the time you prepare to read ahead of the next day's class, it actually helps. It's also an effective way of studying. If you set a timetable and you decide not to follow it that day, it's fine. Probably you have tests, or you're not having the vibe for that course. Please, by all means, go for the course you're having vibes for, because last is the ginger there that will help you to read. So it's advisable you put more than one course. It's advisable you put more than one course. You can put 2-3 courses per day, depending on how your courses are. Just share it. And then if you don't feel like reading one, you feel like reading the other one, please be in the mood of reading. The one that is gingering you. Reading with a course outline is very, very important. Like, it helps you not to read amiss. It will help you know where the lecturer will set questions from and help you prepare ahead of the class. Of course, a lot of people like to do research. Research is very, very important. It's very, very necessary. But while you do your research, keep in view your topics. Don't mislead. In fact, those people who research the more, they are the ones who are passing through school and not school passing through them. You can read and research on that topics. Please, it's very important. I personally, I will confess, I'm not a researcher, but I'm working towards that. Next on the list is your reference material. What author do you understand the best? What author breaks it down to your level? There are a lot of textbooks everywhere on different courses, on different subjects, but which one do you understand more? Jotting or highlighting your major points. Jotting is very, very important. All you have to do is read and write down in a note. For some people, they don't write jotting, they prefer highlighting the points. Highlighting the points is also okay. It's very good for easier retention, help you remember what you have read. And this is also good because it helps you scan. There's what we call scanning. You just have to look through your notes. You just have to look through your jotting or look through the highlighted points, and before you know, you remember immediately what you have read. Some people, like, I don't know, some people have different ways of jotting. Sometimes I jot in a note, sometimes I jot in a piece of paper that I can just carry around and look at it when I am at it. Some people, they like jotting, like categorizing their notes. Okay, this jotting is for these. Some people have one single jotting. Like, the major thing, the only time I categorize my notes is for my case. That my case note becomes part of my reference material. When I'm reading with other reference material, when I'm reading with other textbooks, I go with my case note as a reference material for me. The first point is, please, dears, listening in class cannot be underrated. Like, it cannot be underrated. In as much as we find it very hard to listen in class, we snap out, or we are gisting our friends or something, it cannot be underrated. There are people who basically all they do is listen in class, and when they are done listening in class, that's it, they are good to go. They don't even read nothing. They don't even need to read their notes and all of that. If you're not like that, The little are listening and listening. When you read ahead of classes, that's why I said you should organize your timetable in such a way as to be able to read for the next day's class. When you organize your timetable like that, things that you did not understand, to ask the lecturer after the class. So that's why I said you should organize your timetable in such a way. There was a time, there are times when I read and I don't understand, and probably I read ahead of the class and I did not understand what I was reading. When the lecturer came, all I did was understanding was very, very smooth. In fact, when I don't understand, that's when you see me pay attention so much in class. So for some people who find it very hard to listen in class, for some people who find it very hard to listen in class, I would just advise you to read after the class. Read after the class. When you listen in class, you know what the lecturer expects of you in examination. Yep. Me too, sometimes I will not even lie when I'm not listening in class. And I discovered that a lot of people are asking questions. I'm like, okay, this topic, oh hard go. I will not listen, I will not snap out, and then I'll be like, excuse me, sir, I don't understand. People will be like, you don't know that me, I did not even listen. You see people that made me draw my attention, and eventually I end up understanding what I was not even being. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry for the people I've wronged because of that. I am so sorry, but then it's very, very important. In fact, I said when we're 100 level, part of all this journey goes to school, all these 100 level vibes and all of that. Students will place their phone in front of the lecturers. I don't know how many people still do it though. I can't really remember me doing it, but students will bring their phones in front of the class and record the lecturer speak and all of that, so that when they get to hostel, they listen to it. Me, I know that even if I record it, I'm not even listening to it. I'm not even like. Some things are better understood from the horse's mouth. Reading gradually. Not so many people read gradually, but gradually, that is, as the topics come, you read. As maybe you want to read before the class or after the class. But just try your best. In as much as some people have tight schedules, they are not able to do that. Try your best to read every day. One of the pioneer VC of Miami University used to say that if you read 2 hours every day, you are good to go. I think basically it's true, because by the time you read 2 hours a day, in that 2 hours, as the topics are coming, 2 hours is a long time, because and then we are teenagers, our attention span can easily snap out. So imagine training yourself to be able to read for 2 hours. Yeah, good to go. Reading gradually helps to accumulate your work, and also when it's time for exams, all you have to do is refresh your memory. You don't need to stress so much. Very, 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 very important. In fact, I take this as my number one tip for me, Although since I entered university, I've not been so fortunate to practice this tip. When I was in secondary, I've not been fortunate to practice this tip, and that is reading in groups. Reading in groups is like the best way of reading, because like everybody's okay. How we do it when I was in secondary school was that, okay, we gather our tables together, everybody will read. When you read, oh yeah, time is up, oh yeah, share, what did you learn? And that way you understand from different people's view. It also helps you understand very well. If you don't understand, you say you don't understand, this person will understand, this person will explain for you, this person will explain for you, this person will explain for you. It's a very, very, very interactive way of reading. In fact, let me tell you something, I really even like to. It's like the most distractive way of reading, because by the time you and your friends will come together, you gist, you talk about everything. It takes discipline. Say, okay, it's okay, we are finished talking, let's go back to our book. We even find out that this interactive reading, this reading in groups, if you are reading with your friends or your classmates, no matter how you find it hard to believe, it also helps in strengthening relationships. It helps strengthen your friendship. Communication is one of the major ways of strengthening relationships. And it's a form of communication, because you learn from other people's point of view, you learn from other people's thoughts and all of that. Reading in groups helps you understand better, helps you remember. After reading in group, you guys can even ask each other questions, like asking each other questions. Sometimes if you are fortunate, the one you did not read, somebody will ask you question, you go and check, and that is what will come out. So asking question is very important. So whether it's before you start reading or after you read, depending on how we want it. Most people don't like people asking them question before exam, like before I come and scatter your head or all those that. But asking question helps you know that you have read. It helps you weigh yourself. Okay, have I read? Have I not read? And sometimes asking question is one of the ways of covering your skin. Asking question or using past questions. You can use past questions. Past question is almost the same thing as asking questions, because you check the topics, know where you have covered, you know what people have treated before and know what to expect, because sometimes some lecturers they even repeat verbatim. So asking question is very important. Whether asking question with one another or checking past question, it's very, very important. Finally, I will conclude by saying that please and please and please learn the habit of asking people questions. When you don't understand something, ask somebody question. Even if it's somebody junior to you, ask the person question. It's very, very important. A Yoruba proverb says, whoever asks questions, a person that asks question won't miss his road. So when you ask people question, no matter what happens, learn to ask people question. If you don't understand, ask somebody question. Even if the person vex for you, by the time the person is not vexing for you, the person would have explained to you, you would have gotten what you want, and eventually you get the results you want. One thing about reading is that reading takes discipline. Please also note the timing that works for you. Some people like to read in the midnight, some people like to read early hours of the day, like 4 o'clock, 5, 6. Some people like to read once it's 12 o'clock. So know the timing that works for you. You have to be open to change. You have to open to adaptation. If in a situation whereby you move your class or they move your hostel, you have to adapt. Be flexible. Be flexible in your method of reading. Learn other things. Be open-minded. Anything can happen. Like now during this lockdown, we had to adapt. People that were doing online classes had to adapt. They had to learn how to read at home. So be open to new options. Be open to new methods. Yes, that's all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, join our notification gang, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, let me know, tell me what works for you. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to explore your own method of reading. Please share. I'll see you in my next video.